Hey, Will, what are you doing?
I'm grabbing a glass of wine, man.
Brother, you know we have a podcast to do.
I know, I'm trying to keep from spilling this wine. Hey friends, this is Will.
Hey everyone, this is Michael.
And welcome to We Know Texas Vino.
Cheers.
Hello, welcome back to We Know Texas Vino. This is Will.
Hey, and this is Michael.
Hey, Michael. How's
Hey,
it
we're
going?
pretty pumped, aren't we?
We are.
We're out here at a beautiful winery. We're here to share some more great information with folks, our listeners, who we're so proud of. By the way, we want to reinforce that we've been all over the world, right? Australia,
Yes.
Japan, Germany. What's up with that?
Actually, you know what? I just looked today on the way here.
Yes.
We had 3 episodes downloaded in Germany right now.
3 in Germany.
3 in
do you,
Germany.
Do you have German friends? I'm German, but I don't have German friends.
I'm Irish.
You're Irish. Well, no wonder. I don't
Are
know
you
what's going on
German?
there.
I got part German. That must be ours.
Oh, look at that.
It's got to be my
For
friend.
listeners, yeah. Well, folks, we're here in Burleson, Texas, at a great winery. We're going to showcase some really cool things today. Tell us more about it, Will.
Yes, we are actually at Lost Oak Winery. And
Lost Oak?
Lost Oak, yes.
pretty cool.
And it's not lost, folks. It's
No.
actually really found.
No, and it's populated today. We pulled in here at a relatively decent time, and it's already full. The parking lot's full, and lots of people here enjoying this wine already.
Hey, did you have to pay for parking?
No parking. I just pulled
I
in and
did.
just took advantage of my relationship with Roxanne.
I had to pay for parking.
We
you
charge
did?
all podcasters.
Oh,
You were the
man.
first one here.
Oh, my God. Well, Will, we're super pumped to be here. So where can folks find us? Where can listeners find us?
Well, you can find us on Facebook at We Know Texas Vino, and here coming soon, our website is texasvino.com.
Right. And then online, there's some different platforms we're
Yes.
using. Talk about that.
So you can go to Apple, you can go to Spotify, you can go to Stitcher, you can go to Google Podcast, and listen to us on there.
Okay.
Find us on there and give us a 5-star rating.
Absolutely.
And if you feel like it, which we know you really do because you really love our shows now, give us a 5-star rating.
Yes.
And then go onto our Facebook page and tell us what we're doing good, what we're doing bad.
Yep.
Find us a place and tell us, go out here.
Well, in fact, if I can just comment real quick, we've had some feedback because
Yes.
our microphones we were using beforehand.
Yes.
And by the way, folks, you're listening to brand new microphone work today, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
But we had some feedback from some folks
Yep.
in regards to kind of the background noise and that sort of thing. So we're really trying to fine tune that as we get better at podcasts and
Yes.
reaching out. So that's pretty cool. So listen, folks, you're here at We Know Texas Vino, episode 6 already from Burleson, Texas. We're here at
Yes.
Lost Oak Winery near Village Creek, and we're here with a really neat lady. She kind of reminds me of a few of my family members. Roxanne, welcome,
Hey.
Roxanne.
Well, thank you.
Glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Oh my gosh! So this is a pretty cool location. Obviously, you put a lot of effort into this. Tell us real quick about what I'm looking at. I'm looking at these beautiful windows. What am I looking at here?
The estate vineyard here, adjacent to the tasting room, is Lenoir, which
Okay.
is black Spanish grapes. It is all for show.
Oh, for sure.
If you ever have a wine made with Lenoir, always taste test it first. We use that for our annual harvest fiesta. My vision is to replace it with half of it, at least Shiraz, if not more than half of that.
Your festival that you just mentioned, is that the one where y'all do the grape crushing and all that with
Yes.
people's feet and all that?
Yes.
I am so glad you do that without making that wine into that
pretty
grapes
cool.
into wine.
Yeah. Oh, no. We didn't make your feet into our wine. We didn't put your footprints into our
That's
wine.
good because I had some fungus going on.
Well, our listeners don't need to hear about your issues.
But over yonder,
Yes.
there is an event center. It
Okay.
holds about 200 people. We host weddings, corporate events, quinceañeras, micro weddings is a trending thing now.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. We had a comedy night last night.
I read that on your
It
website.
was sold
Comedy
out.
night.
150 people at our comedy night last
That's
night,
cool.
and our tenured wine club members got free tickets. So that was kind of cool.
Very
We had
nice.
about 60 wine club members there for free. And then
Nice.
if you go beyond the landscape, it's a 52-acre property. The full production facilities in the back. We can manufacture up to 20,000 cases of wine, and there's 2 estate houses on the property.
Oh, that's great. And I'm looking out this back door here. You have a beautiful patio. It looks like back into their property here. I was reading on your website, there's some walking trails and running trails and
Yep.
hiking trails. Are those right outside here
Right
as well?
outside here, you have to the trail entrance is in the back.
Okay.
It's a 2.5-mile hike and bike trail.
Oh, that's perfect. I
In
might
the
look at
woods.
that. Oh, in the woods. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, so you can actually drink and walk
And exercise.
and exercise. So does lifting the glass considered as exercise also?
That's
hold on.
preliminary. That's the warm up.
But you said it in the right order too. Drink then exercise. Why would you exercise then drink? That's so counterproductive.
Yeah.
You have to drink while you're exercising.
Then
That's
it's,
wonderful.
right.
So speaking of that, while we're talking about the drinking here, because we are drinking some Cab Franc from them right now, and it's what, 2020?
It's 2020. Yeah.
Yes, it is amazing.
Just got a gold medal in the San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just received some of the medals. You were obviously just over there recently in the last month and a half. Isn't that when that happened? The last month and a half?
Yes, that
Yeah.
sounds about right.
So tell us about some of the awards and recognition you folks received.
You really
She's
want to
digging
know
her
that? So
phone
Cab
now.
Franc, yeah, I got to go dig
Cab
into
Franc, I know.
I gotta
I just
dig
threw her under
into
the
the
bus.
record book.
Roxanne thought this was going to be seamless. This is
Yeah,
not
I
seamless.
was
this
like,
is
I'm
not
going to have to
seamless.
reference
I
some of these
know, look at
questions.
you.
You
No.
should feel what I did to Marissa at Bingham.
Yeah.
That wasn't very good. I just sprung that one on her, so I'm not allowed to spring things on people.
No, not anymore.
No
This
shiny
Roussan that
objects.
we're going to taste today
Nice.
got I want to say gold medal at the women's wine competition.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the name of it, but we have a female winemaker that made this Roussan.
Really?
So we were able to enter into the competition. Her name's Angela Chapman. She's worked for us for 8 years, anywhere from the tasting room. Now she's in the cellar working with our executive winemaker and our consultant winemaker, and now she's making her own wine.
That is such a cool.
That is amazing.
That's like
This
a
Shiraz just got itself
success story.
gold in
Okay.
San Francisco.
Okay.
So yeah, you're tasting some good wines today.
Which Shiraz is that?
This is the 2019.
Is that the estate?
Yes.
That's what I shared with Michael last night.
Well, we were prepping for the show.
Prepping for the show last
Oh,
night.
you were.
And I had to taste it because it is my favorite wine in the whole world.
Oh, Shiraz is
I love
fabulous.
it.
We had to pregame it last night.
Yeah. No, I think that was important.
Yes. Well, we've had wines all over the state of Texas. And again, if you're not familiar with what we're doing here, Roxanne, we're going to 52 different wine rooms and wineries, meet winemakers, ownership, staff, and we're going to showcase 52 this year, which is pretty cool. So we're excited to try all these different wines. But I'm already going to say today, after this Cab Franc and after the Shiraz we had last night, this is some really good wine, Roxanne.
good.
It is.
What do you think about that?
All
Are you
right.
proud of that? Is that
We're
something you're-
proud of our
Yes?
wines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well,
Yeah.
what was you going to say, Michael?
I was going to say that with the recent awards too, that's probably a very attractive thing for this location here. It's a destination. Obviously, I see great people out here, but when you're starting to be recognized nationally, if not
Right,
internationally,
right.
what kind of draw does that have for the community here in Burleson?
It's for the community in Burleson.
Not so
Remains to be seen.
much. Okay.
We have we have a second location in Fredericksburg called Texas Wine Collective, right?
okay.
Where our wines are featured on the list. It's an ownership group, and we're part owners of that business. I'm managing president, if you will, and that gets a lot of more traffic from other parts of the state, right?
Okay.
So you're bringing in a little bit of more of an enophile, if you will, into that location, and some that are not. But that helps with the exposure. And then we're opening a third location this late spring in Bernie,
Oh,
north of San Antonio.
Bernie, huh?
Bernie.
You know Bernie?
Oh, I know Bernie very well.
Yeah.
I spent my teenage years in Bernie.
Really?
You haven't gone back?
No. I think they kicked me out, actually.
Oh my God.
He's not allowed to. So
Well, So what percentage of the grapes are you using here exclusively for your wines? Are you bringing grapes in from other locations, or how are we doing?
98% of what we do is
Wow.
other locations,
Okay,
right?
okay, yeah.
So we only have 8 acres on our estate, 5 acres here, 3 at an offsite vineyard that we manage. So we source the majority of our fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you said you've been open since how long again?
17 years.
17 years. Wow.
How did that vision start? I mean, what brought you here?
Yeah.
Go back 17 years. You're
Yeah.
like, what, you're 28 years old, 29 years
Yeah,
old? So
living
you're just
in-
a pup. You're just a kid when you opened up here. So what happened? How did that
Oh,
all
no,
come
it's
to-
family, right? So I was
Family.
living in Ecuador. I had been there about 5 years, and my stepdad had a consultant tell him, if you're going to get in the wine industry, you better recruit family. So we got on the phone and started recruiting family. 2006, he founded Lone Oak Winery, which was Lone Oak Winery at the time, right? We had bought assets from north of Denton and Valley View and moved them down here, and we acquired the winemaker with the the acquisition, right?
Perfect.
And in about 2 to 3 years later, 2 to 3 months later, I joined the team, right? Because I was ready to come back from South America. And 3 to 4 years later, we got a cease and desist letter because there was trademark infringement on the brand that we just bought, right? So we had to change our name through that whole we had to change our name from Lone Oak to Lost Oak.
You got to keep the oak part of it. With the Lost Oak. So that's
But
how
I
that
started
came
in the
to fruition.
tasting room. The ladies that you see in there, that's what I was doing.
Okay. Wow.
Well, you got to start from the bottom sometime or another, you know?
All the time. We always start from the bottom.
Yeah, you got to start at the bottom sometime.
That's crazy, though.
We're just pretending what we know.
Yeah, but
We
you
know what we're
were
doing.
talking about the evolution of several people here. Everything from the woman who's now making wines, who started probably in that tasting room, from your own experiences
Yes.
and moving up. So, is that a part of the culture you have here? Is listen, you may be starting here, but we're open for expansion.
That's why we
want you
grow.
to grow. We want you to learn. We want you to be
Yes.
part of this family, right?
Yes. Yeah. We have a lot of tenured employees. Average tenure is like 5 years.
Wow,
Wow.
that's a
Yeah.
compliment to you.
That's
folks.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what are some of your greatest obstacles now? I mean, we have met a lot of winemakers, a lot of ownership now, and we hear about some of the obstacles that people run into all the time. In your opinion, Roxanne, what are some of the obstacles that you're running into in today's world? And I know we just came out of the pandemic a couple years ago, but what are some of the obstacles that just come to your mind right now?
Well, let's talk first with the list of no obstacles.
Okay.
And that's just basically how quickly the wine slides through the glass. Everything else is an obstacle.
Okay, everything. So the one.
Okay, because that is just like a loaded question.
Wait a minute.
So when you say slide, are you not talking about just the view of the color? Or are you talking about going into your
There
mouth
is
also?
no friction. Yes, all of it.
That's a deal with it.
That's the easy part of the job.
So, Will, just real quick, I'm a big adjective guy, right? I'm always I'm a very
Yes.
descriptive person.
Yeah.
Feisty.
Yeah.
Roxanne in
Yes.
Latin means feisty. Something about this woman here. She's pretty
Don't you have a song you want to sing? Or anything?
I might be singing later on. I was telling everybody to sing that song. But so obviously that's a beautiful thing because we love wine sliding as well. But if you were to pick one or two things that you're excited to overcome, that it's just an obstacle, what would those be?
Well, I run the business, right? So I'm always looking at the finances. Cash flow, one. A consistent vintage from one year to the next.
Okay. Very good.
Top two.
Yeah. What would prevent that second thing? Weather? Frost?
Yeah, well,
Mother
yeah,
Nature.
late freezes, Mother Nature, things that you cannot control.
Yes.
Right.
And most of everything that really keeps you up at night and gives you heart palpitations are the things that you cannot control.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you focus on them and they're out of your control.
Yep.
Herbicide drift is our biggest obstacle right now in the high plains. We source 80% of our stuff from the high plains. So cotton farmers are growing cotton adjacent to vineyards. And when you were talking to Marissa,
Yep. That's what we're laughing
you got
right
the
now.
story,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So she had Snowmageddon that really wiped out a lot of their vineyards, and also herbicide drift. And we're seeing a deterioration a decline in yield year over year.
Nice.
And the foregone conclusion is that it is due to herbicide drift, right?
Oh, darn.
So that is the number one priority for us legislatively in this session, and that we're actively pursuing.
Okay. So you hired lobbyists
Yes.
at the legislature right now because
Right.
it's the time where they're making decisions.
Right.
So you have people down there working really hard
Yeah.
right now for that purpose.
Yeah, I was in Austin last week.
Okay.
This week actually, talking to
Wow.
our representatives in the House and the Senate. We were trying to go in on a piece of legislation with UT, A&M, Texas Tech, and Grayson to get $10 million in funding for perpetuate to go back into research and development in the Texas wine industry.
Interesting.
Cross your fingers, hope to die,
Right.
that we get some support on that. But that would go into some of these critical issues and how to combat herbicide drift.
You know, I did a lot of research on you. You're a very fascinating woman. And since you just talked about that, to me, what I have read, and I could be totally wrong on this, you contributed to a lot of the reason why the wine industry is the way it is in Texas now.
Yeah.
Tell me, am I wrong on that?
But I can't
Be
take credit
immodest.
for that.
Be immodest. Just give it to us, Roxanne.
I wake up every day and I work towards that end, right? Grow
Right.
the Texas wine industry. So I don't know if there's any magic in my work.
Well, I mean, you did go to Austin and you lobbied for,
Yeah.
say, hey, this would be a good thing for sales tax and state tax and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I've read all that, and I'm like, this woman is really
I'm
fascinating.
very active.
Yes, very active.
active.
And yeah, I just.
No wonder you drink so much wine.
Yeah.
But you have
Aren't we
to.
all?
There's high energy. She has high energy,
Yeah.
like
Right.
someone else at this table, right?
Right.
So high energy, high enthusiasm, intelligence, and obviously a passion. That word keeps coming up with all the wine
Yes.
makers that
Oh.
we're meeting.
Very passionate.
Yeah, for sure.
Very
Yes.
passionate type A's.
Yeah, type A. Ooh, so good.
Oh, dang.
I told you we were related.
Passionate type
I'm a
A's.
sisters.
Take those to task.
So wait a minute. So if I'm a top B, I can't be a winemaker?
You can't be a winery owner. You can definitely be a winemaker.
Okay.
Or ground screw.
Can I take a test to get to a top A?
No, you're born with that.
Dang it.
Sorry.
Will, what am I? What would you say I am?
What?
Type A all the way, baby.
B
All
plus?
the way.
He has 6,000
A++++.
questions on his
I do.
computer
No,
screen.
7,000 questions. 7,000 questions.
We're going to
Yes.
pare it down today.
Yes. Well, obviously, you're working really hard for Texas wines. We think it's wonderful. It's the reason we're doing this podcast.
Yes.
We want people to learn. We want people to have access to all this. In fact, some of the feedback we're getting on Facebook and some of the other avenues is we're hearing that it's such a cool idea. Now they have access to things they didn't know about. So
Right.
we're just speaking your language here. That's part of your philosophy. So
Right.
what is your overall philosophy from a wine owner perspective? But also, you have a great facility here. But why do you want to share that with other winemakers? Why is that such an important thing to
It's
you?
very, I'm super passionate about. This is a legacy business, right?
Mm-hmm.
We build on the legacy of in my case, especially my forefather, which is the founder of my stepdad. He's a great guy. Every person I've ever met in the industry that's met him says he's a great guy. I learn from others, right? Obviously, you model what you see and what you like, right? He was the president of Texas Wine and Grape Growers Association. Our winemaker, our executive winemaker, was the president of Texas Wine and Grape Growers Association. That's what
Wow.
I just did.
Wow.
And
Surround
we-
yourself with champions.
Yeah.
And we have our bench in just between the three of us, and take Angela and add her to us. We're over 90 years in the Texas wine industry.
Perfect.
The cumulative total of how much experience we
Man,
have.
Holy cow.
So we don't take it lightly. And I
Yeah.
think year over year, you build on the next year. It's built on the foundation of the year before.
Okay.
And this is not go to Bordeaux, go to any other successful wine region of the world. And this is a generational business.
Right.
Don't think you're going to get it right next year, last year. There's no home runs here.
Correct.
It is just year after year, you get up and you go to work.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's probably the fascinating thing that we have
Experience.
experienced. That's
Yep.
what I'm looking for. Sorry, I'm empty on wine.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of wine on the table. That's my
That
choice.
should never be an issue here.
But I mean, that's one of the things that we have learned from Chris, from Marissa, from Grayson, from you now is that it's every day. You got to get up and grind, and you got to have that passion. You got to want to do it, and you got to keep doing it because if you don't do it, it's not going to happen the next year.
No, and obstacles are par for the course.
Love it.
Yeah.
Right. You don't get beat down by an obstacle. You just say, okay, what's the best way to figure out this obstacle? And farmers in the high plains in West Texas, they are a rare breed because you sit with a good Texas wine grower is usually a farmer, and they farm soy, cotton. They're ranchers. They've seen it all, and they're like, oh, it's herbicide drift. Well, I built, of course, I've got a border crop, and I go and talk to my neighbors, and I pay them a little extra to use the brand name herbicide product and not use the off-brand because it volatilizes less. Therefore, there's a less likely chance. Plus, I help his kids in church on Sundays, and
Yep.
he's playing politics, but he also knows that gets him the result that he's looking for.
Right.
And so these farmers are resilient. If we get, not the gentleman farmers, if we got the real farmers,
The old school farmers.
investing, and they don't have to be old school, they can be new school, the next generation of farmers.
That's
But if
true.
they're investing in the Texas wine industry, we have an opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it just seems like any great entrepreneur or farmer in your description there, you have to be prepared for some sort of obstacle, right?
Yeah.
I even think of like stories like from athletics. I'm an old dumb jog. I come from the athletic world, and I just even think like Jack Nicholson, who was a golfer, just said, "Listen, I know there's going to be one bad shot on this round.
Yeah.
There's just,
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that bring me down. Instead, handle the obscurity or the
resilience.
hurdles and get over it and make some things happen."
Yeah,
for
real
sure.
resilience is
Absolutely.
Yeah.
what you got to do.
Absolutely.
So, again, you're just reading your bio. You're a very, very interesting woman. You're
Diverse.
Very diverse.
Diverse.
Yes, diverse.
Do I need to keep throwing words out?
No, it's okay. There's a thesaurus right here on your computer.
Thesaurus.
He types it in.
You just
sometimes.
repeat it back to him in a different way.
Yeah. And you made mention, you said your dad was part of the president of the, Texas Grape and Wine Association? I noticed that you are too.
Yes,
So don't
I'm
hold that back.
Past president, yeah.
Oh, you're the
Okay,
past
very
one.
nice.
Well, they need to update their website.
Yes.
They did update the website.
Yeah. Then maybe they do. I bet you're
Don't wait
right.
on it, Roxanne.
Yeah.
So I roll off as past president this February. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so-
well, I'm involved.
Yeah, you're very involved. So let's talk about your life real quick. So you probably live right here at this table. I mean, this is where you pretty much sit up.
Yeah,
camp,
yeah.
and you have
I sleep right
hammock.
under there.
Right
I go to
under
the
there.
table. Right.
That's what I
the
keep
bathroom's
thinking.
right there. It's got my
You're
toothbrush.
set, toothbrush.
We're good.
Set, yeah. Go outside, get some fresh air, get back to work. So, so what is your life, Roxanne? You're a busy woman. You're type A. You have this great facility. You have a wonderful business here. But what do you do for spare time? What do you do for hobbies?
That's a really
Drink
good
wine.
question.
Oh, got her.
Man.
I do go. Oh wow! I exercise.
Yep.
You know, I like to bike. I like to do cross training. I like to run.
Okay.
I like to climb.
Wow.
Yeah, I like water sports.
Very nice.
So I just finished a 5-day trek around Mont Blanc with my sister who lives in Geneva, like outside Geneva in Switzerland. I have a twin
Wow.
sister. So we go there every 3 weeks out of every year. And so we'll do Provence. We did Provence last summer. And then we did Mont Blanc. And we did a 5-day trek around, like, there's actually a circuit of 10 days.
Wow.
And you go up 2,000 meters a day, and you go up to about 4,300 meters, and you come down to about 2,000 meters, and it was up, down, every day, and then you just kind of camped out in auberges, right? So I like languages and I like travel.
You like language? What languages do you speak?
Spanish and
Yeah.
un petit peu de français.
Oh, parlez-vous français? Parlez-vous
petit
anglais?
peu.
Parlez-vous anglais?
Ouais, et
That's it.
anglais
That's
et
the extent
français.
of it. I got stuck in Paris one
Wait,
time.
wait.
Little culture shock. That's all I spoke. Other than omelette de fromage. That's old Steve Martin. Cheese omelet. So that's all I speak.
I'm not
Yeah.
even going to attempt anything at all because I just speak one. It's called Texan.
Yeah, that's
You said
right.
it was-
That is a language.
That is a language.
That is a language.
So
All I know.
what areas in the wine world then? Because you're you like to get out and see this world.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Geneva, by the way, beautiful
Right.
area. What part of the world inspires you when it comes to wine?
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm so inspired by the business itself, but I didn't travel to the wine world to be inspired. I'm just a hard worker. That's all I do, right? And I'm motivated by the challenge, and I'm motivated by the product, and I'm motivated by the process, and I like the community around wine.
Yes.
So I came from the pharmaceutical industry. My degree's in pharmacology, toxicology. So the scientific side of it is kind of, I don't know, it's easy. That's
Right.
natural, right? To look at, solving problems. But I think the business side of it's challenging because you can't we have supply chain problems all the time. Plus a cash flow problem, right? So we have to get, and it ages. This stuff you sit in a barrel for 3 years, right?
Right.
So you're sitting on
Yep.
lots of inventory each year over year. So I lived in Alsace in the eastern part of France, and we did lots of wine tastings through southern Alsace, right? And my sister stayed, and my parents stayed, and I went back, and that was a really cool intro into wine. But after that, I moved to South
Interesting.
America. I
Okay.
finished university in Wisconsin, moved to South America, and when they said they were going to open up a winery, and I didn't want to stay in South America anymore. I was like, well, how hard can it be?
Not difficult, right? That's one thing we've learned. It's not difficult
Yeah.
growing grapes.
Yeah.
I'm being sarcastic.
You
by the
should
way.
Yes.
be. Yeah.
It's-
Everybody
it's
picks up
brutal.
on that.
Okay, the sarcasm bled
because-
through the microphone.
Because like we was talking about with Grayson at Arcade, I was going to plant grapes in my backyard, and I realized, it's not just planting grapes.
Right.
Yeah, and you're probably going to lose a lot of everything by doing it in your backyard.
What's
Yeah.
equity, just for starters? I mean, you're
I mean,
talking
it was
about
just,
massive-
I was just going to play around,
Well, of course, do 2 or 3 vines.
Yeah, I'm just going to play around with it because I wanted to kind of, do my own homemade wine stuff.
Okay.
But, now we'll go into details. That'll be for a later episode, but, we're going to go into details later.
Will,
Okay.
Will has a vision.
I would
Yes.
not do vitis vinifera. Maybe just do some muscadine.
I was thinking about muscadine or
Yeah.
some Cabernet Sauvignon or
okay.
even Cab Franc, something that can be easy to grow.
yeah,
and-
resilient.
yes.
There you go. You can pick up some roots. We're about to rough prune out there, and you
Okay.
can you can graft the shoots.
Really?
That's cool. There you go. Will.
We'll have to talk about that later.
Your startup gig.
Your
you-
startup gig in your backyard.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I might as well.
Best thing to start in your backyard as well.
Well, I have another tough one for you, Roxanne.
Okay.
So, I'm a West Coast boy, and so I know Napa Valley, I know Washingtonian, Oregonian
Oh.
grapes. I'm big over there. I pretty much grew up in that area.
He's going to hit you with a hard
And,
one here.
Well, I just think I've heard through the rumor mill that the next Napa Valley is possibly Washington State. Do you agree or disagree with that? And how close is Texas to really capitalizing on this amazing North American trend?
So, do you think they say that because of the wine agritourism or because of the terroir?
I have a rule where you never answer a question with a question. No, I'm joking. I don't know. I
Well,
don't
we
know.
just broke that rule. He didn't, for the
It's the
record,
question game.
he did not set the rules ahead of
I
time.
did
They
not
were
write that.
mismanaged
It's not in the
expectations.
contract. Well, and the reason I say it is because I've heard it not from one person or even a handful of people, but every time I travel to the West Coast, I'm hearing this scuttlebutt, and so I
Right.
want to know what your opinion is. You're so involved in Texas. I love Texas. I want Texas to win this battle. I want
Okay.
it big time. The wines I'm drinking today is showcasing to me that we're right there. We are right on the verge of doing something spectacular here.
Okay.
As she pours me
I'm
some
going to
wine.
pour in the Tempranillo.
Yes, I love
Okay,
Because
so-
this barrel select,
So
right?
explain us your Tempranillo here.
This Tempranillo, this
Then
is
she
Bingham
gets it.
family. So Marissa and
Oh.
her team, Betty and Cliff, he's the best part of the business. You've got to get Cliff on the microphone.
Well,
he cracks me up.
Is he the father figure?
He's the father.
Well, we were told we need to get. Marissa said the mother and the father.
Well,
or
Cliff in particular.
Yeah.
Gosh, you
Cliff
mentioned that.
and Betty, but Cliff is a riot because he never gets out. Total introvert. Great grape grower and great farmer. Talk about resilience. So this comes from their vineyard, 2019. We chose. You're gonna make a liar out of me. A few barrels to create a barrel select program
Okay.
for this
All right.
one. Yeah.
So what barrel did you choose for this one?
You do taste through the barrels. So it's not the barrel that we chose. We chose the wine in that barrel as premium.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a few of the winemakers.
So
who
the
we've talked to
wine-
do the
Yeah.
same thing. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, the premium. This is the same wines, but this one's the premium.
Yeah, you
right?
do. But before you put it in that barrel, you select the barrel, right?
right.
So, but it's a process from crush all the way through. I don't know, 6 to 8 months in the aging process. Then you start saying, okay, this one's gonna be a star, right? And then we'll in our reserve program, it'll be at least 18 months in oak, maybe 24
great.
months,
Interesting.
and it's selected at crush and it's free run juice.
So there's a distillery here that I love to go to. We won't make any names to it. It's one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
And they usually take barrels from a local brewery that
Yes.
makes beer, and they turn around and put their bourbon and stuff inside of it. And I'm not a big bourbon fan, but that's actually really good.
Yeah.
And so I was like, could you ever do that? Take a barrel that was made for beer, they use bourbon for it, and then turn around and use that for wine.
I have not heard of it yet. Of course, bourbon, barrel select bourbon,
Yeah.
barrel aged wines are trending together with all the other
Absolutely.
distilled spirits that are all flavors,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
But what we were.
I was saying,
we-
don't worry. I have 7,000 questions,
Well,
and I
go back
We
to my
diverse
question because I
people.
was
I'm gonna
I was
repeat it.
intrigued by it.
We do have a policy here that if you have to re-ask for a question, you have to drink.
Well,
That's why I poured in the
college.
temper. Oh,
Yes.
Walla Walla. Are you talking about
Walla
or
Walla,
Yakima Valley,
yeah,
Red Mountain?
all of that. So
Holy
we're,
moly.
I know. And so you were pre-game. We were talking a little bit, and you said you went over there to the Seattle area and ran into 130 tasting rooms in a small little community right there outside
Right,
Seattle.
right.
Is that location, Washington, Yakima Valley, Willamette? Is that the next Napa Valley, or
Willamette, Oregon.
Willamette, Oregon? That's right. Is Texas on the verge of doing something spectacular?
They are.
Tell me why.
I want to say where we lag behind and where Walla Walla and Oregon are is funding, right?
Okay.
Texas needs state funds or a subsidy program or some marketing, a robust marketing dollars to drive our industry forward, right? Not only do we need to invest in R&D, right, to know site selection, combat all the things we can control in viticulture. We have we've got the terroir, in my opinion. We've got the land.
Yes.
It's affordable.
Yes.
There's enough of it.
Yes.
We can grow and expand with the right people at hand. And I think it's not cost prohibitive to do that, but we have to have a little bit of pull through marketing
Right.
where we've got enough demand from a consumer standpoint to drive the industry forward.
Right.
St. Genevieve, not St. Genevieve, Chateau St. Michelle, and other big hitters in Washington contribute a dollar amount for every gallon produced, and the growers a dollar amount for every ton produced to a state program overseen by a board and an association to invest in marketing dollars for Washington wine.
Interesting.
Right?
Yes.
Oregon has a similar model,
Okay.
and it's an assessment program, right? And we can do a self-imposed tax or self-imposed assessment program in Texas, which I would be a huge fan of, and I think some of your bigger growers and your bigger wineries would also.
Absolutely.
Some of the smaller guys, I'm not sure so much. Plus, the synonym for an assessment program is a checkoff program.
Right.
And our cotton growers have to be involved in the checkoff program.
Right.
And they're not so excited about it, right? So I believe with investment like that, we can get in line way above Virginia. New York has some similar program. They receive $450,000 every 2 years. They fundraise half of that, and the other half of that goes comes from the state. But New York's number 4.
Right.
Virginia and us, we compete for number 5. Texas and Virginia.
We could take care of Virginia. We're bigger than they are.
Okay, good. This is true.
This is true.
Right. I think we have a lot more promise than Virginia.
As we lose all our Virginia listeners.
Yes. We love you. Virginia, we do love y'all, okay? Just so y'all know that. We do love y'all.
like flies.
Oh, that's what. So is that the future, though? It sounds
But
like
I
you're
will
heading that way.
say, I talked to, I visited 2 wineries in particular that I was fond of. I talked to several brokers, several growers. The lady that has just done our rebrand, Lost Oak's about to go through a whole rebrand, right?
Wow.
And so all of our new wines will be coming out in the next 2 to 3 months. So this is phasing out, and the whole rebrand's coming on.
So you mean all the
Inside
bottles
information.
with the old labels will be worth more money?
Oh, yes. Vintage.
Oh, dang.
Higher price for the vintage.
And it's a new word for vintage, not vintage as in the date.
Oh, that's true.
So they play on the words there. Look at there.
So I believe what I like about what Washington's doing from a Texas standpoint is they're doing varieties that we're doing. Albarino, Trebbiano, Mourvedre, GSMs. They make a great Tempranillo, a great Viognier, a great Roussan. So I've contacted some of the wineries out there to see if we could partner in off years, right? Yeah. I mean, we make 100% Texas stuff, but that doesn't mean, I got to have a business too, right?
Right, yeah.
So I've got to have, that's my insurance crop, right? So we're establishing some of those relationships and what we can gain from some of those relationships. And I also participate in the Wine America board, and we have like association calls with all these other states. That we can gain from some of these relationships is not reinventing the wheel, not trying to do things that other people have charted their course for us.
Right.
But how do we get Texas where it needs to be?
Nice. Well, it sounds like you put a lot of thought into that already, and obviously more than I
hate to see her office with a big flow chart.
Yeah, for sure.
She's got a big 10-foot
big whiteboard.
This is
in
where
her.
we're going.
Yeah.
Everybody knows where we're going.
Well, good.
The whole
Good.
team knows.
And you're going to be a catalyst for that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Don't be immodest.
Uh-oh.
You're not allowed to be
Of course I am.
immodest around me.
She's going to light the fire.
Well, I
Just
already
go
kind of
for it.
am, right?
I love
No,
it.
you're nowhere near being modest.
No, catalyst.
Oh, catalyst. But I thought you said you was being modest.
No, you guys were saying modesty. I wasn't talking about modesty. I was talking about
Well, let's shift gears here real quick as we
Catalyst.
start to wrap it up a little bit here. What is the funniest moment you've had? Like the moment that literally you think about it, puts a smile on your face, and you absolutely cannot believe it happened. This is the first time I've asked this question.
It's the first time you've asked this
So
question.
this is just for Roxanne, because
Yeah.
Roxanne is just feisty.
Yeah.
Right.
So what is that one that just, it was a staff member, it was an incident with a customer,
Where we bartered for music.
okay?
Wait a minute.
Yeah. So
Elaborate.
instead of actually paying a musician, we offered them wine for pay.
Oh, mercy.
So I sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what-
Hey,
Do you sing for wine?
I wanna hear
Michael,
you sing.
actual Michael sings.
Okay.
He sings a
told you
really
about
good
my
song.
Roxanne.
Yeah. Can you give her a
Let's
little?
get a little-
Can you do it a little bit?
Okay, here it is.
No,
Can you give her a little taste of your
We're
music?
pouring in some more wine, so we can give it a little taste.
well, I have
of
to use
Roxanne.
my kind of my raspy, a little Bruce Springsteen voice,
Oh, it's
so that
on
I get
today.
sing. So
I feel
yeah,
like you're primed.
I might be in big trouble. But so, how did the musician do? Did
I like
he
how
or
you-
she did?
Glasses, so I can't look
You
at
see
it.
how you
Yeah.
bypassed
Did they
that one?
finish strong? Did they finish strong? How'd it
No,
go?
no. I had to ask them to leave.
Oh, you did?
Get off the stage, and I called in the only other musician that I knew, which was in Dallas, and I said, free drinks for everybody. We're open till
love it.
2 a.m. Please stay and come back because the music was
That
horrendous.
is awesome. Okay, so that's a classic moment, right?
Yes,
You'll never
that's-
forget that.
You'll never forget those
That's
moments.
very-
Yeah, and I was
good.
totally responsible. It was all my fault.
How many bottles did you
Too
drink
much
that
wine.
night?
Unlimited pours.
Unlimited pours.
So I know we're getting to the end of this. I would like to take a moment. If you don't have a problem with it, get your I just totally went blank.
Tour
on it.
guide?
Not tour guides.
will be staff.
Your staff. There
Okay.
we go. That's the word. If you would like to introduce them and let them know who everybody that when they come in, who they're going to talk to, I would love that if you would like to.
That's a great
And if they
idea.
don't want to be shy,
No, they're not shy. They're not hired. We don't hire shy people.
We don't hire people.
We don't shy hire people. We don't make them shy after hire.
Roxanne started drinking this morning at about 4 a.m. Now, having said that too, we'd love to meet your staff, of course, but it's your table now.
Yeah.
Tell us anything you want to share with our listeners.
Yes.
Why?
Can I see
What's the
page 4?
value? What is the value of this amazing?
She wants to see
facility?
page 4.
I need question 4,126, please.
That's right. That's you were close. It was 4,128. She's so good.
Well, go ahead and
So
shoot it.
sharp.
What is that question?
That is, share your vision. Teach our listeners
There we
what they
go.
can learn when they
Yeah.
come here. What's happening here?
There's a lot of potential in the Texas wine industry, right? I rarely speak in terms of Lost Oak, and I speak more in terms of the industry because tides rise, all boats float.
Yep.
And I think it's a commitment to quality and a commitment to growth that's going to propel us into the next 10 years.
I love it. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Very good. Well, cool. Well, we're going to leave here for a moment, and unless you have one more thing you want to finish up
let's
on.
get our staff right quick.
Well, you
want
want
to get your staff?
over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. She gets staff.
So I think she's a very interesting woman.
I think she's crazy.
You know.
No, I'm joking.
Well, it's a good thing I can edit this out.
Yeah.
When
We're ready to do this out for sure. No, she's awesome. Well, you can tell why there's a great vibe there, why things are happening here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very, very good.
Uh-oh.
Here it comes. Let's introduce staff. I already met a few.
we got to
of them.
praise
Yeah,
it.
good to see you guys.
Have a seat.
Yes. Okay.
Have a seat. Introduce yourself.
Meet Mike.
How long you didn't tell us how you've been here?
Well, we met Colby earlier, and
Yes.
he was a super nice young man. He does tours. You're
Really?
a tour
sir.
guide.
I am a tour guide here. I've
So-
been doing that for about 6 months now.
Wow, 6 months.
Wait a minute. He's cool to you? He made me pay more money.
Well, he hasn't charged me a thing yet, so
And
he's
they charge
definitely
you
cool.
parking fees.
Yeah, they charge me parking fees too.
Well, Colby and I go back a long way. It's
Oh,
probably a
okay.
good hour or so. And so, what's your favorite part of doing that? Probably you're a people person, obviously.
No, definitely. The biggest thing I love about it is just meeting all these different and interesting people, learning about where they're coming from, their life story, and
Absolutely.
just being able to be together over just wine.
Yeah.
Just talk over wine and
Yes.
enjoy something, even if we don't have the same views on everything. We can always enjoy.
Oh, so you
something.
talk politics and religion on this
Oh
tour?
no, but of
Yeah,
course-
politics is the bad thing,
of course,
folks.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Religion or politics does not matter. We can always enjoy.
Well, you're
good
obviously a
wine.
very nice young man, and you probably connected at a high, mature level with those folks for sure. So your favorite part is just the people, of course, and just getting to know them. But what's the outside of Roxanne? What's the greatest obstacle of working here?
Oh man.
Okay,
Oh, man.
Roxanne's not
I would
standing here, so you
definitely
don't have to worry
say
about
it's
it.
Maddie over here always nagging on me. No, I would definitely say the biggest obstacle would just be trying to learn all
Yep,
the
good.
information that I do or
Yes.
that I know now.
Is that a
But-
good problem to have? To
Yeah.
want to learn? You always have
Yes.
a thriving mind.
Yes.
You want to learn. That's a great problem to have,
Of
isn't it?
course.
You
Yes,
have
it
a
really
great
is.
staff and a great owner.
Especially when my brain is pounding
Yes.
right after, so
I
I
gotcha.
definitely enjoy that.
Well, nice to
feeling,
meet you.
but-
Yeah, do you have a question,
So
young man?
I do have one question.
sir.
So Roxanne's not standing here. She just walked away.
Right.
What's the one bad thing you can say about her?
Her smile.
Infectious.
It's oh man! Right when I see it, I have to smile.
Right.
I just have to.
Well, will you let her know later? I've sent adoption papers. She needs to notarize them, get them signed by her attorney, get them back to me as soon as
Yes.
possible. I'll raise
Yes, of
her
course.
and all of you on my dime because she's a pretty cool lady. But yeah, thanks for your time.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you
your
so
time.
Thank y'all very
Good
much.
luck to you.
And salute.
Texas Vino, right?
We know
Yes,
Texas
sir.
Vino, yeah. And who's this young lady? Come on over here real quick. So we have another staff member here. Met you earlier as well. What's your name?
Maddie.
Maddie. Is
Yes.
it short for Madison?
Madison,
Yeah, I have
yes.
a
But it's
cousin.
only Madison when I'm in trouble.
Uh-oh.
right?
Madison, what's your
Yes.
middle name?
Ann.
Madison Ann.
So can we say that and get a free bottle of wine out of that?
I mean, I don't know.
Where's Boundary? So what do you do here, Maddie?
So I am one of the key holders here. So I'm full time, and I've been here a total. I just came back in June
Okay.
for my second time. I was gone for about 5 years, and
Oh, wow.
so yeah, I started back when I was about 23, 24.
Roxanne got all excited to a party right behind us.
Well, that's exciting. That's really cool. And so obviously you as well enjoy being here. You're back
I
for a
do,
reason. It's a
yes.
great high energy, positive atmosphere.
Yes,
So yeah, you
yes.
bring a lot of that. You have a great smile, so you probably bring a lot of that energy as well.
I try.
Yeah,
I try.
very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. You know, I think I met you back in the summertime.
Probably so.
Came here with my
Yes.
girlfriend, stuff like
Okay.
that. And
yeah.
I think we met you a couple times.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for helping out
Yeah,
here. And you
thank
actually
you.
bring a great attitude to this entire atmosphere, which is pretty
Yes,
cool.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely,
Thanks, Maddie.
sir.
You're
Thank
amazing.
you, Maddie.
And go enjoy your day.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Uno mas?
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking this year.
got talking this year?
Here, yeah.
Did you rupture an eardrum?
I wear hearing aids. I'm
Yeah.
wearing temporaries, and
Temporaries,
it just so happens I can't find the batteries to one ear. So
The reason I ask is I have a daughter who's 22 years old, and she did this on an airplane and blew out her eardrum, and so
Yes.
she's doing this. She's like, "Dad, talk to me in this ear." real quick."
yeah,
So as her eardrum heals, but yeah. And
Yeah.
what is your name?
Melissa.
Melissa. What do you do here, Melissa?
So I am here full time, just like Maddie is, and I'm in operations here in the tasting room.
Awesome.
I think I saw your picture on the website. So
Probably.
Yes, indeed. All
Probably.
right.
One
It's all-
might-
it's all
one
a
may
lot of
have
pictures on
snuck
there.
in.
yeah,
So I asked this to Colby a while ago.
yeah.
What is one good thing you can say about Roxanne? And again, she's not standing here.
No, not at all. So Roxanne and I actually share a love of numbers. We started working more closely together recently and found that both of us are quite analytical.
Okay.
And so when we have discussions, if we can take it to looking at details, we will. And it's been great to be
Awesome.
able to look at things from that angle.
That is a
Awesome.
beautiful thing, right? Being a
Yeah.
type A guy myself, that
Yeah.
is a gorgeous thing. Details
I thought
are
you was a B
wonderful.
plus.
Wonderful hobby. No, I'm A plus.
A plus or A
Yeah.
plus plus?
Well, you do a great job here as well. Obviously, if you're in charge of operations, things run smoothly. Everything looks great. We're really, really proud of this organization. So, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. Thanks for bringing
Thank you for
the
your time.
mojo.
Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you.
Appreciate it. Nice meeting
Thank you.
you.
Same here.
Very nice to meet y'all.
Well, you as well. Well, so
Yeah.
Will,
Yeah.
Will, we're going to
So
go ahead
let's-
and go to segment 2 here in a
Well,
minute.
let's
So,
finish this out.
What's that?
Let's ask Roxanne.
Roxanne's
To our
back.
listeners.
Yep.
So Roxanne's back. She had to go take a walk right quick.
She had to go
Yeah, we
tour
went-
Europe.
Yes.
We need an anonymous feedback.
So Roxanne, tell our listeners how they can get in touch with you.
They can't.
Well, I mean, like your Facebook page and your
Spontaneous.
website and stuff like
Lost
that.
Oak Winery.
Yeah, right.
Let's clarify.
Well, I mean, if they want to really dig for you and they look for you on your website, they can
I'll give you my cell phone number, 817.
Oh, my God.
bleep, bleep,
She
bleep,
calls in a week,
bleep,
she's had over
bleep.
10,000 calls.
Man, we are on Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, website, LinkedIn,
All of it.
everywhere. Right? If you don't see us,
you-
we're not doing our job.
That's for sure.
Do you
Yeah.
do Telegraph? Do you do?
No, no more fax. Took fax off the business card.
fax off the
yeah,
business
we don't
card.
do snail mail anymore.
Oh wow! So y'all don't even get
Telegram.
bills no more either.
Telegram.
Right. We don't pay our bills.
Well, we're excited to have you here for the second portion. We're kind of done with our first portion
Yeah.
of this, so we're going to move on to our second portion here in a moment, right?
Yep.
Will?
Yep.
Okay,
Folks,
very good.
we're going to stand by here.
Yeah.
So you can find us on Facebook
Yep.
at We Know Texas Vino.
Correct.
Go out there and find us on Apple,
Yeah.
Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcast at We Know Texas Vino. And just tell us how you love our show. We try really hard to give y'all the best quality
With
show
all this
ever.
new equipment that
Yes.
Will has managed to find on the side of the road, we're excited to upgrade and increase our value to you, the listeners. So,
Yes.
Roxanne, appreciate you. We'll be back with you in a moment, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
LostOakWinery.com.
Cheers. All right.
All right.
Well, hi, listeners. Welcome back to We Know Texas Vino. This is your host, Michael. Hey, we are so excited to share this next segment, the educational edition of our podcast. If you have any ideas or topics that you would like to learn about, or you want to hear from a wine enthusiast, please reach out to us, and especially on We Know Texas Vino on Facebook. Listen, folks, grab a glass and let's saddle in for this next segment. Cheers. And welcome back, everyone. We're super excited to be here with Roxanne again. We're going to do an educational. That's a new word. I just made up a new word.
So
We're
how
gonna
many glasses of
education-
wine have you had
I've just
already?
had one.
There's the
glass of
thesaurus.
wine.
Let's break up the synonym for that
But
one.
we're going to do an educational, kind of a fun feature today.
Yeah.
You know, we always get to alternate and decide what we're going to talk about. And I was thinking about this actually a couple days ago. And I was thinking about, Roxanne, you buy different bottles of wine, whether you're at a store, or you're at a winery, whatever, and there's different sizes to the bottles. And I know there's a
Right.
historical perspective, especially a European presence or maybe a European influence. Tell us a little bit about what you know about like some of the
Well,
bottles.
and not just sizes, but also color.
There's color, right? This
color.
this antique green. Okay, so
Yes, we have some bottles right here.
there's flint and antique green and dead leaf green are the primary colors, right? What the reds are typically in an antique green,
Okay.
but they look black when you put a red wine in them. Flint is transparent. But it looks so you can see the white wine through it and the color of the white wine.
Okay.
It doesn't actually protect the white wine. The darker glass will protect the white wine over time, but white wines are meant not to age for extended periods of time.
And people want to see them. They
And
want to see the colors. They want to see it. Yes. Okay.
And a rosé, you want to see the color
For
of the
sure.
rosé, right?
Absolutely.
And I'd love to see the color of the red, but they age longer, so it's better to be protected in a dark glass. This is antique green, but oftentimes you'll find a burgundy and a dead leaf green, like a Chardonnay. Most of your Chardonnays on the store shelf are in dead leaf green. It's like a yellowy green tint.
interesting, right,
Yeah.
right.
And that, in terms of advantages from a safety standpoint, it probably protects it like an antique green, and it may be more tradition. But those Chardonnays come in a burgundy bottle. So when you've got a fat at the bottom, that's a burgundy style bottle.
Burgundy.
And
Burgundy. That's good to
wines
know.
that typically come from the Burgundy region classically would be put in a Burgundy bottle. And we have this old school, new school kind of paradigm shift at our winery that we have lots of conversation. They're like, they put the Viognier bottle in a Bordeaux.
Right.
So this is new for us because
Right.
Roxanne, not so traditional, as you can probably
Well,
imagine.
I didn't know that actually. You say not traditional. I kind of almost sense, even though the type A, creative, fun,
Yeah.
innovative, enthusiastic, almost we're going to go with the traditional, historic.
Yeah, I would-
But you're saying the opposite. You're almost
Well,
like less traditional.
I'm not such a stickler for that tradition, right?
Interesting, Okay.
I wouldn't have thought that about you. Like really, truly, honestly, I would never thought that. I thought you would be
That's not
like,
a negative thing, though.
yeah. I thought you'd have been more hardcore. Like we have to put it in. We got to put a
This
Riesling in a blue
style
bottle. We
of-
got to put this style
Well,
in this
that would
bottle.
nice segue into what we've got available to us to purchase, right?
right, yes.
Okay. So most of the flint glass is made in China, right? There are a few furnaces in North America that produce flint glass, right? So lucky us, with our current supplier, we order enough glass that we've been able to forecast 1 year out and get bottles in for the next 6 to 8 months, right? But they're adding a new, oh my God, you're gonna make a liar out of me. It's a huge furnace in Monterrey, Mexico, because they're no longer our supplier, which is actually a distributor, is actually going to start manufacturing or go in on manufacturing of flint glass. Because as you guys know, the spirits industry is going bonkers.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You've got the brew industry going bonkers. There's more demand for that glass, and even your specialty non-alcoholic drinks, your Cokes and
We've
all.
heard that trend from
Yes.
several wine.
Yep.
Yeah,
Keep going, though.
yeah.
That's
So,
amazing.
so in fact, we just bottled last week 2,000 cases of wine, and our whites are in an antique green bottle because we couldn't get the flint.
Oh wow.
Right. Which is, I don't like it. I told Angela, she's like,
Yeah.
oh, but it protects the wine.
It
I
bugs
said,
you a little bit.
as soon as you can get the flint back, we're going with the flint.
Right.
So that speaks to your point,
Yes.
right? Totally proved you right.
Yes.
So yeah, no, and this burgundy glass is a little bit difficult. Look at the neck on it.
Yes.
You see, it's harder to fit a capsule on it. So
Right.
they come in these variations. But what I'm seeing in the marketplace now is a consolidation. Specialty glass is not available. It's hard to get, and you set yourself up for failure. So the more you can,
Compromise, maybe?
well, it's all about compromise.
Okay.
We're compromising all the
You're
time.
throwing words at her now, but I'm reading what you're saying there.
But if you can consolidate your lineup, right? So because of the consolidation of the market, you just can't get it. So if
Right.
you can compromise your style, right?
Yeah.
You can actually put wine in a bottle to sell.
So in other words, you're telling me what I should actually do is open a business in making glass bottles.
Specialized.
Specialized glass
Glass
Well,
bottles.
bottles.
start with a couple, $10, $20 million. It's not going to happen in your backyard.
You know,
Just saying.
Next to your
Might not be as
vines.
successful as grape growing.
Right.
Okay,
it's
so-
sort of- but the fact
Yeah.
of the matter is there's a supply issue, and
Yes.
I think that what I'm
Supply
hearing is probably just that there's a lot of companies and a lot of these big manufacturers they're just getting away from it,
Right.
and going just more the standardized kind of, this is your bottle, this is what you get.
Yeah, because they can store, they can manufacture more of them because the demand's there. We just now are not getting anything from China.
So go ahead. You got a question?
yeah, I actually have a very interesting
I have a
question
follow-up
here.
right
Yeah.
to you.
If you actually look at your bottles, your red bottles are not your standard red bottles.
Right.
They're tapered at the bottom.
Yes.
Did you notice that, Michael?
I did not.
I
Yes,
like it.
their bottles are tapered at the bottom.
Okay.
I really like that because it makes it easier for storage.
Oh.
Yes, I've found that you store in a regular red
'Cause you
bottles.
invert them.
Yes, and it just stores a lot easier, and I can stagger them back and forth,
Yeah.
and get more into space because I mean I've got
A few.
I got about 140 bottles at the house.
Yeah, and I'm up there as well. We need to start drinking more wine.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what we need to start
clearly,
doing.
clearly.
Bring Roxanne over.
We need to do more podcasts so we can get more wine. I mean,
love it,
wait a
I
minute,
love
hold
it,
up. We
yeah.
need to drink more wine before we do the podcast.
Well, we are doing that right now. So my follow-up question, Roxanne, and this is your professionalism and your experience and your wisdom, but how many people, your customers, even notice the bottle? Is it something they take, delight in noticing that you put a rosé into the wrong bottle?
Our customers, not so much.
Okay.
No, we've built
Customers in general.
We've built an expectation, right? So they notice there's a variation from one vintage to the next with Lost Oak. But in terms of being in the marketplace and asking questions, why did you put that Viognier in this bottle? No. The traditional enophiles, your collectors, the people that are shopping in Europe, not
Right.
shopping here for European wines, they're asking those kind of questions. But
The
New
peop-
World is not doing
That's
so
what I
much of that.
figured.
Yeah, the people who are more, how can we say, wine enthusiasts, they're the ones asking, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Yes. I've gotten that many times before.
But that's what I'm figuring. I mean, it bugs the winemaker, bugs ownership, it bugs
Yes.
us maybe a little bit as we get
Yes.
to know this a little bit more. But really, overall, most people are completely, oblivious to what's happening. So really, it's you. It's tearing at your nervous
It's
system.
true, it is.
It's
I'm
tearing
like,
at
that
your
does
nervous
not
system.
look like it's
She's biting
supposed
at her
to.
fingernails right now.
So anything
folks.
else you want to share about just the bottles you're using, the supply chain, anything else you want to follow
Yeah,
up on that?
there's a funny story. Like
Yeah.
so there's a bottle over here. We're doing a seller select sale, and I got excited about the wide shoulder bottles, right? So I went with this really super wide, beautiful wide shoulder bottle, but you'll notice it's like 3 inches taller.
Right.
It's way
So
taller.
Will wouldn't have been saying the same thing about that bottle because you can't fit it in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
It doesn't go where the milk goes. It doesn't go on your wine shelf.
You're right.
It was
It's too tall.
over-engineered. It was too expensive,
Okay.
and I ditched it because it sounded nice at the time, but it was a disaster.
You know, it's kind of funny. I never noticed that until you just said something. But also, then I tower over the top of it, so I don't get to see it at eye
Right.
level. So,
It's so tall.
You just call Roxanne short. So let's move on now. How tall are you, Roxanne?
5'6".
Oh, that's not bad. 5'6".
Michael, I think you tower over more than I
6
do.
foot.
With heels, I'm fine.
Yeah, very good. Well, cool. Well, anything else you want to share? I know you were talking about the bottles, of course. You wanted to really comment on the San Francisco. Did you want to clarify that from the earlier portion at all? Your little that. So, Will, I mean, takeaways, brother. Takeaways.
You know, Roxanne, before we did this, I did a lot of research on you, and I found you to be a very fascinating woman. What did you chuckle for there?
I was just laughing. I think it's awesome.
I mean, I'm. Sometimes it doesn't take a lot to fascinate me. I mean, that squirrel. There's a squirrel running across over there. That just fascinated me right there. But
That makes you have a good personality. You're down to earth.
So, but I mean, my takeaway from this whole thing is that Roxanne is got her hand in a lot of things,
Yep.
and she knows what she's doing. And if she doesn't know what she's doing, she's going to find out, and she's going to make something out of it.
Proactive.
Yes, very
Problem
proactive.
solver,
Yes.
solution seeker, for
Yes.
sure. Yeah, my takeaway also, Roxanne, and I'll just compliment you, is that it's obvious that you are iconic, if you want to call it, in the Texas wine future. And to me, that's awesome. I'm glad
Yes.
to know you and glad to meet you today. I think it's wonderful. If your enthusiasm and your energy is authentic and and you're prepared to work hard, which I think you are, I think you're going to do phenomenal things for the beautiful wine community
Yes.
here in Texas and beyond, of course. So I'm really excited to have met her today.
Yeah,
and
I am
be here at
too.
her fine winery. It's been
Cool.
great.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Glad to have
amazing.
you guys.
Roxanne, it has been an amazing hour now. Yes,
Yeah.
almost an
Yeah.
hour with you.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would not trade this hour for anything else. Seriously.
Well,
Seriously.
good. Well, we're going to close it up here real quick. So, Will, remind everyone how they can reach us and how they can find us.
You can find us on Facebook at We Know Texas Vino. You can find us also coming soon at texasvino.com. Go out there and find us on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast.
Yep.
And rate us a 5-star out there.
And with all this new equipment, thanks to you, my friend, and I know that it was a great investment. I think we're going to have a lot more fun and a lot more feedback and a lot
Yes.
more positive.
I hope this
energy.
audio comes out really, really good.
Yeah, well, we're excited to showcase this here at Lost Oak Winery with awesome staff and Roxanne in particular. We're really excited. Thank you again, Roxanne, for your time. We're
Yes,
very, very
we commend
grateful.
you.
So, yeah.
Yes, you're welcome.
So this week's quote, Will, are you ready
Yeah,
for
oh,
it?
yes, I am.
my
So
wife
are you
gave
ready
me
for this?
one.
I
Here you
can't
go.
wait.
Yeah, this is
And
great.
She's probably heard it before, but dear wine, we had a deal. You were supposed to make me funnier, sexier, smarter, and a better dancer. I saw the video. We need to talk. So, folks, another day, another glass of wine. Cheers from Lost Oak Winery. This is Michael.
Cheers. This is Will.
Cheers.
All right, adios.